My mother-in-law, Grace Harrington, got reborn. She forced my husband to divorce me because she knew that in just 3 years, her son would become the richest man in the city. Smug as hell, she dragged that second-generation rich bitch Tiffany Sterling home and declared, "My son only deserves a girl like Tiffany here, from a high-class family. You, a penniless nobody from the sticks, hurry up and divorce him to clear the way." Too bad she had zero clue that her son's massive fortune in my previous life was built single-handedly by me. Without me, that gutless, trembling coward Simon Harrington could only scrape by at the bottom of society alongside his mom. Following my memories, I rushed back home. As soon as I opened the door, familiar laughter hit me. My mother-in-law Grace Harrington was arm in arm with Tiffany Sterling, her voice booming. "Tiffany, my boy Simon knows how to pamper a woman. You two should give it a shot, maybe it'll be love at first sight." Tiffany Sterling blushed coyly, putting on this fake demure act. "Aunt Grace, stop teasing me. Simon's great, I like him too, it's just a shame." I glanced at my husband. Simon Harrington was staring at Tiffany Sterling like an idiot, clearly stunned that this supposed heiress was being so bold. Then, pure glee lit up his face. He dreamed of being a kept man, but no rich girl had ever given him the time of day. In my previous life, it was only me, blinded by his looks, who stupidly dove headfirst into this hellhole. "Oh wow, Tiffany, so you have feelings for my Simon too." Hearing Tiffany Sterling confess her interest in her son, Grace Harrington grinned so wide her wrinkles multiplied, casually grabbing Tiffany's hand and shoving it into Simon's, beaming like a matchmaker. Simon Harrington flushed red, his eyes gleaming as he stared at Tiffany Sterling, not resisting his mom's move one bit. This woman, her son already married, yet she's openly playing matchmaker and bringing the girl home. What a shameless mother-son duo. Thinking back to my previous life, I got spun around like a top by this pair. In business, I stuck by Simon Harrington from rock bottom, helping him become the city's richest. In life, I endured my mother-in-law's vicious barbs and suffered through my husband's cold indifference. In the end, I died in difficult childbirth, one life for two. Simon Harrington used the billion-dollar empire I built to marry a young hot thing and live it up. Thank God for second chances, I got reborn too. Though I still woke up on the second day after marrying Simon Harrington, unable to dodge the wedding, everything was still fixable. I just didn't expect to walk in on my husband getting cozy right in our home. Weirdly, this never happened in my previous life. Plus, from what I knew, Tiffany Sterling wasn't some heiress, she was just a regular employee who joined the company later. Why was she showing up early? Full of doubts, I took a deep breath and stormed into the living room. "Simon, what the hell are you two?" I deliberately stared at their intertwined hands, faking shock. "Oh, Dana, you're back." Simon Harrington yanked his hand away, awkwardly rubbing his nose, looking guilty as he grabbed my bag. "Let me introduce you, this is Tiffany. Tiffany, this is my wife. Tiffany's gorgeous." I smiled at Tiffany Sterling, lips curling up. Tiffany Sterling hid a flash of contempt in her eyes, smiling back. "I've heard from Simon that you're so capable around the house, handling everything. Not like me. I can't even sweep a floor." Her words sounded like praise, but they were really mocking me as just a homemaker with no real skills. "Tiffany, housework is nothing. Only useless women fuss over that. You're an heiress, graduated from a top foreign university. Any guy who marries you is blessed for generations. He'd treasure you like gold." Grace Harrington shot me a sideways glare, pulling Tiffany Sterling's hand and hyping her to the skies, all suck-up vibes. Simon Harrington nodded along. "Exactly, Tiffany, you're nothing like my wife. Heavy work doesn't suit you. Just be pretty and let others serve you." Then he turned to me. "Dana, you bought so much food today, why not show off your cooking for everyone?" Right after buttering up Tiffany Sterling, Simon Harrington had the nerve to belittle me without shame. I shot him a sarcastic glance, drawling, "Oh, my little cooking skills in front of Tiffany? Simon, you're wrong. A lady like her eats gourmet delicacies. If you want to treat her, at least take her to a 5-star hotel. What's home cooking worth?" Simon Harrington, obsessed with Tiffany Sterling, got awkward, forcing a smile. "My bad for not thinking it through. Let's hit the Four Seasons Hotel for lunch, I'll book now." Seeing Grace Harrington and Tiffany Sterling not object, Simon Harrington whipped out his phone, pulling me aside. "Dana, I'm out of cash. Transfer me 10 grand to treat Tiffany to lunch." I faked surprise. "What, you don't even have 10 grand? Keep it down." Afraid Tiffany Sterling would hear, Simon Harrington clamped my mouth, rushing, Mom holds all my money, transfer it first. I swatted his hand. I don't have any either, mine's with my parents. Ask your mom. I'm not going, saving some cash. Cutting off Simon Harrington, I beamed and stepped out. Tiffany, Simon's booked. Half-hour drive. Don't crowd the car. Before finishing, Grace Harrington eagerly dragged Tiffany Sterling, urging Simon Harrington to hurry. My husband didn't even apologize before his mom hauled him away. I casually saw the three off. If Simon Harrington wanted to cling to Tiffany Sterling's tree, I'd give him a push. Just curious how a fake heiress and a lazy gold digger would end up. Without Simon Harrington dragging me down, I'd get revenge faster than in my previous life. As expected, late that night, Simon Harrington and his mom returned beaming, Grace Harrington's hands full of gift bags. Spotting me packing, she smugly shook her head. Tiffany's so thoughtful, bought me all this in one afternoon. Unlike some people, married in but won't cough up a dime. She turned to her son. See, son? I told you, marry someone like Tiffany, good family, generous. Simon Harrington nodded furiously, recalling how I refused him 10 grand that morning, face darkening. Dana, I married you against mom's wishes because you seemed capable. Look, we've been together how long, and you've never bought mom a decent gift. Your money's still with your parents. His mind was clearly on Tiffany Sterling, now I was just an eyesore. I paused packing, eyeing the pair with sarcasm. Those snacks bought you two off? Probably not even a few $100 total. I never bought your mom gifts. That gold necklace around her neck, I paid real money for it. Don't want it? Take it off and give it back. I rarely bought my mother-in-law gifts, but during our 2 years dating, for her birthdays, it was gold necklaces or bracelets. Way pricier than that cheap crap. Meanwhile, I'd never gotten a gift from Grace Harrington. Suddenly, I remembered, not just now, but in my previous life, while I slaved building Simon Harrington's career, she not only never gifted me but never gave me a kind look. You're listening to the Three Little Frogs channel. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Simon Harrington was a total mama's boy, his mom treated me like dirt, and over time, he turned cold too. No one realized that without me, he'd never hold his head high. I'm your mother-in-law, you owing me respect is normal. One necklace worth what, and you demand it back? So petty, no wonder you're short-lived trash. Grace Harrington warily tucked the necklace in, sneering and cursing me. I froze, her tone and pose flashing me back to my deadly childbirth in the previous life. When the doctor handed Simon Harrington the critical notice, Grace Harrington stood arms crossed, snarling. Short-lived trash, can't even birth a kid, useless. Swallowing my rage, I glared at the pair, quickly finished packing, headed out, voice strained. My dad's not well, I'll care for him these days. Don't call me for errands. Knowing their true faces, I couldn't stand sharing a roof. Lucky my dad had a cold, I used that excuse to escape this nightmare. Sure enough, hearing I was leaving, Simon Harrington started objecting, but his mom pinched him quick, signaling shut up. Seeing their shifty eyes, I guessed without me, Simon Harrington had more time to chase the fake heiress Tiffany Sterling. So what if Grace Harrington was reborn? They still couldn't escape my grasp. I booked a hotel for a month. During that, I'd cut ties with Simon Harrington completely. But seeing Tiffany Sterling's friend request on my phone, I thought it might not take that long. Next morning, Tiffany Sterling messaged to meet at a cafe. Dana Vaughn, Simon's destined for greatness, you don't deserve him. I'm his fated match. Tiffany Sterling sipped coffee, tone arrogant. I sized her up, totally different from the Tiffany in my memory. Now, she used superiority, eyeing me with disdain. As I suspected, she was reborn too, like Grace Harrington. But even reborn, her brain didn't come along. Knowing Simon Harrington was a rising stock, she faked being an heiress to snag him early. Fine, she and Grace Harrington would be my perfect tools to ditch Simon Harrington. I calmly replied, clearly, Simon doesn't deserve me. Divorce? I'll dump him. Haha, hilarious. Hope you don't regret your stupidity today. Just wait. Tiffany Sterling expected a fight over Simon Harrington. My quick agreement made her laugh, eyeing me like a fool. I stayed silent, plotting next. As predicted, knowing my stance, Tiffany Sterling pressed her advantage. Days later, I hired someone to tail Simon Harrington. When the pair was out, I snuck in cameras. Without me blocking, Simon Harrington openly chased Tiffany Sterling, splurging daily on fancy spots, even bringing her home multiple times. I waited for the killer blow. Less than a week, it came. Simon Harrington brought a drunk Tiffany Sterling home. With his mom's push, they hooked up. From the hotel, I timed it to 7 a.m., bursting home. By then, neighborhood folks were out exercising. I led a crowd in. Simon Harrington, you dare bring a woman home to screw while I'm away? What happened to your wedding vows? Forgot after less than a month. I charged into the master bedroom, pointing at Simon Harrington and Tiffany Sterling, catching them red-handed. Both still groggy, Tiffany Sterling shrieked, instinctively hiding in Simon's arms. I pointed. What are you doing? Get out. This is a misunderstanding. Dana, you brought people here on purpose? You still see me as your mother-in-law? Simon Harrington, still holding Tiffany Sterling, hadn't reacted when Grace Harrington rushed in, trying to shove me out. I wasn't ready, stumbling back, staring at her vicious face. This old hag really twisted black to white. Misunderstanding? Your married son banging another woman in our bed. Did I force him? Grace Harrington wanted to play dirty, but not on my watch. I forced tears, covering my face sobbing. An aunt in the crowd couldn't stand it, sighing. Grace, your son's wronging Dana, bringing a woman home, and you blame her? Yeah, I've seen Simon with this girl around the neighborhood multiple times. Married men need self-control, don't ditch your wife for flings. Just married and already like this. What's next? The folks I brought were gossipy neighbors. Grace Harrington's usual arrogance pissed off plenty. Now with dirt, why not pile on? Simon Harrington got shamed speechless. Grace Harrington suddenly lunged at me, sneering. Dana, you're useless. Can't even satisfy my son, forcing him to look elsewhere. And you call yourself a wife? I wiped tears, retorting. Your son's the cheater, and you twisted on me? Fine, let's see what the neighbors think. The crowd buzzed. Grace, that's low. Your son's the adulterer, yet you attack Dana? Yeah, she's from the country but hardworking. Your son's the scum. Simon, own up, apologize to Dana. Grace Harrington, red-faced, yelled, mind your business. This is family, get out. But the neighbors kept roasting. Tiffany Sterling, hiding under covers, peeked out. Aunt Grace, it's my fault, I like Simon. He's meant for greatness, Dana doesn't match. I can make him happy. Hearing the heiress admit crushing on her son, Grace Harrington dismissed me entirely. See? Dana, if you can't take it, divorce my son quick. From now on, separate paths, don't block Simon and Tiffany. Her words lit Tiffany Sterling's eyes. Simon Harrington stepped up, gently holding Tiffany's hand. Tiffany, if I divorce, will you give me a chance? Tiffany Sterling shyly nodded. Simon Harrington whooped, spinning her in a hug right in front of me. Grace Harrington beamed, patting her son. Son, you finally picked right. Tiffany's 100 times better than Dana, educated, rich family. Prepped as I was, this blatant provocation made me clench fists. Caught in bed, and you flaunt it before his legal wife. Any shame? Tiffany Sterling shot. Dana, if you're mad, name a price, I'll compensate, guarantee satisfaction. Compensate what? Divorce needs no cash? Dana, no divorce fine, but you'll watch Simon and Tiffany get lovey-dovey daily. In my heart, only Tiffany's my daughter-in-law. Hearing Tiffany offer money, Grace Harrington objected, glaring at me defiantly. I fired back. Your son's the cheater. Aren't you scared I'll make a scene, ruin your reputations? HMPH, don't think I don't know. This is just moral stuff, worst case gossip. Tiffany's from big money. Who dares talk shit won't blame us for payback. Grace Harrington glanced at the crowd behind me. I turned. Aunt Lee spoke first. Dana, we saw nothing today, gotta go. Others followed, dodging involvement. Grace Harrington smirked, threatening. Dana, see? Even your crowd won't cross us. Society runs on money. Sign the divorce, or don't blame us if your family suffers. Simon Harrington added, softer. Dana, best part peacefully. Don't blame me, people chase benefits. Tiffany Sterling chimed. Dana, have mercy, let me and Simon be. The trio tag-teamed like I was the villain. I sneered. Fine, I'll divorce, now. Shocked at my speed, Grace Harrington dashed for papers, shoving at her son. Hear that? Divorce Dana quick and marry Tiffany. Simon Harrington hyped, urging me. I coldly eyed the eager trio, heading to the Civil Affairs Bureau. In a flash, that day I got the divorce papers. Grace Harrington's family and Tiffany Sterling, each with schemes, married immediately post-divorce. Seeing Tiffany Sterling and Simon Harrington official, both lost in get-rich fantasies, I thought. Perfect, phase 1 of my plan nailed. Let these greedy bastards reap what they sow. Post-divorce, I explained to my parents, then plotted my startup. In my previous life, I spotted a money-making wave, riding social trends to riches fast. Then snagged investors, grew the company, with luck and skill, billionaire in 3 years. Now, with foresight, I'd speed it up, dodge mistakes. No sooner said than done. With savings and a bank loan, $1 million total, enough for small start. This time, slight tweak but same path. Knowing futures, I aimed big. Using Rebirth Edge, I approached future investors, detailed new energy vehicle plans domestically. I contacted Vera, city's biggest auto plant, squeezed by foreign brands. Partnering them saves effort. 2 months later, hustling presentations on new energy cars, pulling more funds. Early rejections, many called my plan unfeasible, costs killer. But persistence paid, found backers, post-months research, they bought in and partnered. With foundation and cash, I poured everything into business. Early days brutal, but I trusted my vision. Half-year later, company on track, I became a real boss. I spoke at City Youth Conference, repping the firm. That's when Simon Harrington's family showed. Reuniting with Tiffany Sterling, I barely recognized her. Once youthful beauty, now haggard like aged a decade. Spotting me, she lunged. Dana Vaughn, what the hell? Why isn't Simon the boss? It's you. What went wrong? Simon Harrington's mom and son trailed, greedily scanning the office, approaching me. Simon said, Dana, Mom spilled the previous life stuff. You and I are meant to be. It's all her fault. If she hadn't faked being an heiress to trick me, I'd never have left you. Simon Harrington faked remorse, glaring at Tiffany Sterling, eyes brimming greed unchecked. He thought sweet words would sucker me back. I felt nauseous, stepping back. Simon Harrington, no clue what you're on about. We're divorced, no ties. Tiffany Sterling's your wife now. Rejected, Grace Harrington shoved her son aside, smirking sly. Dana, they say a day as husband-wife means lifelong bond. You and Simon were married, how no ties? A divorced woman like you. Where's better? This big company without a man backing? Nothing. Simon Harrington overconfident, nodded. Dana, I know you're mad about the divorce. Just hand the boss spot back, I'll remarry you, treat you right. Their robbery logic disgusted me. No more arguing, I waved for security. Throw these out. No riffraff here, broke? Beg elsewhere, don't bug me. My assets, no one stealing. I eyed the trio disdainfully, shooing like pests. Simon Harrington fumed, about to curse, security dragged him. The family got tossed, cursing outside long. I ignored, left via back door. I figured Grace Harrington's crew wouldn't quit easy. After all, both Grace and Tiffany were reborn like me, so I stayed vigilant. Initially, thought cutting Simon's rise would end harassment, I'd let slide. But now, we're enemies. Days later, Simon Harrington's mom and son found my home, blocking the door. I had security bar them, hired tails. Shockingly, they went nuts, showed up with battered Tiffany Sterling. In-laws, without this bitch, Simon wouldn't divorce Dana? I brought her to apologize. Don't be mad, we're family. Grace Harrington hurled bruised-faced Tiffany Sterling at my parents' feet, all groveling. Simon Harrington casually lit a smoke, hospital? No broken bones, she won't die. He kicked Tiffany Sterling extra, like trash. Though no fan of Tiffany, I shivered. She tricked them, but no real harm. Plus, they jumped at her. I pushed through, ordering security hall Simon Harrington, treating my assistant like this? Beating her to pulp is domestic violence, you know? I called an ambulance stat. Grace Harrington butted. These wounds need hospital? We brought her to apologize, why so ungrateful? If you insist, you pay meds. Plus, agree to remarry my son, hand your assets to him. I eyed her like an idiot. What? You too the law? Want what? Get what? I was blind-picking scum like Simon Harrington. Not dumb anymore. You were my son's wife, who'd want you now? Disagree. We'll block your door daily. We're broke but got time. Grace Harrington plopped down, Simon threatening. Dana Vaughn, don't follow Mom. We'll make your life and parents hell. My kind dad, seeing their dirtiness, fumed speechless. You're outrageous, any respect for law? I knew they'd push, called cops. Think I'm the pushover Dana from before? Laughable. Lucky, cops arrived fast, hauling Grace Harrington's pair per my tip. Tiffany Sterling hospitalized. I planned minor harassment charge for suffering, but seeing her battered state, new idea hit. I handled her admission. Didn't miss her hateful glare at Simon Harrington. If she testified, he'd rot in jail. Post-check, she had internal bleeding, bruises everywhere, rated severe injury. Seeing her bedridden, like my lonely deathbed previous life. Dana Vaughn, let's deal. Help me, I'll accuse Simon of abuse. I want him punished. Tiffany Sterling awoke, saw me bedside, stared ceiling long, then spoke slow. I crossed legs calmly, wary. Why trust you? Why help? You don't want that scum clinging either. I was wrong, greedy for what's not mine, now this. Relax, no need you front. Just hold Grace Harrington's pair in lockup days, till I can walk, I'll sue. Tiffany Sterling sneered, eyes resolute. Suited me, I rose. Heal quick, bad guys get what's coming. Leaving hospital, I hit the station with Tiffany's injury report. Grace Harrington's duo detained for harassment and abuse suspicion. Days later, Tiffany discharged, sued Simon Stat. I hired top lawyer, demanding max prison time. With my shadow support, smooth sailing. In court, Tiffany bared her scars. Turns out, Simon didn't just recent abuse. Learning her fake, he started beating, initially mild. Lately, egged by mom, thinking billionaire soon, regretting divorcing me, he vented on her, brutalizing to this. Due to their shamelessness, Tiffany lacked guts to fight. Endured till near-death beating, dragged to my home for show, decided enlist me, jail the demons. Finally, with solid proof and testimonies, Simon got 8 years for domestic violence. Grace Harrington, accomplice, 6 months. They didn't see abuse as crime, brazenly defending. Simon yelled. Tiffany's my wife, I'm husband, disciplining her wrong? What right to arrest? Defiant, he pointed me. Dana Vaughn, you bribe cops with that whore Tiffany to frame me? Grace Harrington wrestled cops, plopped crying injustice. Officers, don't buy those bitches' lies. We're innocent, framed. Despite courtroom shamelessness, twisting facts, ironclad evidence, 100 mouths couldn't argue. I didn't bother. Under public eyes, fair law punished. Simon's 8 years, but Grace's half year. I warned Tiffany careful, post-release revenge possible. She got it, said she'd handle Grace. So, she didn't divorce post-Simon's sentence, waited Grace's release. Somehow, as family, Tiffany committed Grace to psych ward, cared well but stripped freedom. Done with them, she filed divorce from Simon, got papers, left city that day. Before going, mailed me apology letter. My life calmed. I poured into career, elevating company in a year. Thank you for listening to the story at 3 Little Frogs channel. If you enjoyed it, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is our team's biggest motivation.